this is another funny moment, which the press is totally misunderstanding. It was from his exchange with Elon the other night, and he's making a remark about that ridiculous Time magazine cover showing Kamala Harris like,
oh God,
yeah,
like Joan of Arc up there. I mean, it was ridiculous, the depiction of her. And here's what Trump said, and then I'll play you the media reaction. Listen.
But she's getting a free ride. I saw a picture of her on Time magazine today. She looks like the most beautiful actress ever to live. It was a drawing. And actually, she looked very much like our great first lady, Melania. She didn't look like Camilla. That's right. But of course, she's a beautiful woman. So we'll leave it at that, right?
So since when does he sound like Buddy Hackett? That's
there was a problem with the audio. Then they released the original audio because he was saying something and it was better. But listen, okay. My take on that exchange, he's obviously suggesting Kamala Harris is not attractive, but was made to look attractive by this sketch artist who put her on the cover of Tom. Like, he's like, they made her look like Melania, for the love of God. And he's like, right? That's what he's saying. And then listen to how the media reacts. I think this is Julie Roginski on CNN.
This is the same kind of misogyny we talked about before, right? She's dumb, she's terrible, but she's hot. In other words, is what he's saying. So I guess she's going to get a free ride because she's hot, right? Because women who are hot, in his words and his terms, get a free ride. I mean, this is a woman who's a former prosecutor. She's a former attorney general. She's a former senator. She's a sitting vice president. She's accomplished. You may not agree with her. You may not think that her policies are the right policies, but she's accomplished. And yet he's reducing her down to her looks and basically saying that she's dumb, she's not so smart, but because she's a good-looking woman, kind of like my wife Melania, she's going to get a free ride from the media.
Oh my God!
I like Julie. Julie's usually pretty smart, and she whiffed badly on that one.
That's
so wrong, right? Like, talk about that's how little they understand this guy. In no universe does Donald Trump think Kamala Harris is hot and is going to get a pass.
No,
because of that.
He's clearly saying that this is Time Magazine's kind of visual hagiography, and they made her look like Melania, who's really hot, and that's not what she looks like.
Could you imagine Donald Trump
correct.
using the phrase visual hagiography?
That would be amazing. Yes, he said that.
I said, sir,
visual
hagiography.
I said, sir, that's not what she looks like. She's not Melania. Bless her heart.
And she's not
That's
fat.
an insane reaction. Yeah.
I know. But this is, of course, again, what Trump is up against. And I don't know the solution other than message discipline. On the subject of the media, I got a couple of other for you guys. You've probably seen the viral Caitlyn Collins clip on Stephen Colbert. She is on CNN. She goes over, to get the lovely treatment from Stephen Colbert on how amazing she is and how amazing CNN is. And the left-wing New York City audience brought some truth to the matter. Watch.
Trump has kind of been thrown on his heels by this, and he's not really sure how to go after Vice President Harris. He knew his attack lines on President Biden. He really has struggled with how to go after someone who's 20 years younger than him, who is a different gender, a different race. It's kind of been this moment where he has not been able to coalesce around a single attack line.
I know you guys are objective over there, that you just report the news as it is. Oh, I know. CNN makes it. I know.
Was that supposed to be a laugh line?
I wasn't supposed to be, but I guess it is.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
How humiliating and good for that audience. They knew that was a farce.
What is the number of trust in the mainstream media? Something 17%, some vanishingly small number. I think it might be lower.
11.
So I think that the audience, even in New York City, knows that that's ridiculous. I mean, it is. Stephen Colbert is a great example of this, right? I mean, a comedian. If you go back and look at the late night shows of the Leno, Conan O'Brien, Letterman era, you would have occasional political jokes. They never turned into cheerleading for one political candidate or one side, which is what it's made it so boring. I mean, you look at the ratings they have, which are low. Stephen Colbert, I mean, everyone remembers the unbelievably embarrassing vaccine dance. Do you remember this?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
People
with all the shots on stage dancing around.
I mean, it's like, what is happening? It's like North Korean television, but less funny.
That was horrid.
I mean, I've routinely encounter like clips of him on the Daily Show or just old Daily Show segments back from its glory days. And there were so many times where they were lampooning the left and lampooning the right, even with Kamala Harris, quite frankly, up until somewhat recently, it was not so surprising to see them lampooning her. But that sort of thing, like in a moment like this, seems far less likely to happen.
Oh gosh, never. I mean, look, who were the faces of CNN over the Trump era? Jeff Zucker was running it. We all know about him. He's ruined CNN. Chris Cuomo, okay, that didn't end well. He's obviously a Democrat partisan masquerading as a journalist, just like Stephanopoulos. And Don Lemon. Now, Don Lemon ultimately got forced out because he made one too many stupid sexist comments, and so they turfed the guy. But I'll just give you a little sample of Don Lemon and how he's covering the news these days. The guy who was the face of CNN for all these years. Take a listen. We meandered over to his podcast, We're the One, and we found the following in-depth discussion.
I think you're right. Is it because people are like, oh, you know, how the kids call it being sus, right? Oh, well, he's sus or whatever. Do you think it's fair to be questioning Vance. JD Vance's sexuality, or because, you know, when they say thou doth protest too much, I'm not saying he is or he isn't. Some people are like, you know, I have great gaydar and blah, blah, blah. I don't know. What do you think, Alejandro?
Wow. Sorry.
No worries. I think with some of my friends in the group chat that were like kind of being like egg vibes ? Which like for folks out of the trans community, like egg means like someone who hasn't come out as trans yet, but gives off like a lot of vibes like they're trans.
So, listen, one of my friends who is trans is in the chats, in these here chats, is Flame Monroe. Flame, let me know what you think in the chat. That's what I want to know. I want to know what you think about all of this. Do you think it's just fun? What do you think? Because I hear people, you know, I see people are putting up the egg emoji or what have you.
God, Don Lemon. Remember when he thought the plane like it maybe disappeared into the Bermuda Triangle or
black hole?
Is that crazy? Is it a UFO? That's giving off the same vibes to me there, Don.
How much was he?
I mean, just asking if JD Vance is gay or trans. I'm just asking. That's all. Just asking. Okay.
Yeah. Is it fair to ask? Because I don't know. I got good gaydar. Yeah.
Right. I mean, I'm just asking whether Tim Walz is a pedophile. I'm just asking. Just, you know, just put it up. It's ridiculous.
Is he punching his wife in the mouth? Does he look like the kind of guy who could punch his wife in the mouth? I mean, maybe.
Right. I mean, it's insane. This is, of course, they will not be doing those segments on Tim Walz. In these crazy times, there is peace of mind in security. Security for our country, for our leaders, and for our families. But think about this. You are not financially secure if all your eggs are in one basket. Gold and silver can be an excellent way to diversify your savings as a hedge against inflation. They're a physical asset that's in high demand globally. And through Birch Gold Group, you can own physical gold and silver in a tax-sheltered retirement account. Yes, you can diversify an old IRA or 401k for no money out of pocket into an IRA in gold and silver. Text MK to 989898 and receive a free no-obligation info kit and learn the role precious metals could play in your overall savings strategy. Again, text MK to 989898. Birch Gold has an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau and thousands of happy customers. Text MK to 989898. Message and data rates may apply. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.